Today's book community drama is all about AI and why in the world are readers obsessed with using it. My name is Taylor Rose, and welcome back to my channel where we talk about everything reading and writing. While I feel like the majority of the bookish community is anti-AI, authors, the bookish artists, etc., the majority of them are vocally anti-AI, at least in my algorithm. But it never fails that in these conversations, there will be people who claim to be avid readers and claim to want to support authors and bookish artists are somehow also supporting generative AI, despite the fact that many authors are extremely vocal about being anti-generative AI. You've probably noticed this most recently in what is called the Ghostface Trend on TikTok and Instagram, where you can use AI to take a photo of yourself and insert Ghostface into the background. Here's an example of what these posts look like. You can see this was posted by Cyberlink with directions on how to do it with Gemini, which is one of the GenAI platforms models. And arguably, while it is a cute idea, especially since we've entered October, it is now spooky season officially, these would be so easy to do yourself. I get that it's easier than photo manipulation, but there are so many programs, and there have been programs for years, that will erase the background on an image. You just erase the background on a picture of Ghostface, slap it onto a photo of you, adjust some of the saturation and stuff so the lighting looks normal, and that's it. Unfortunately, people like to take the easy way out. Multiple people have come out speaking against this trend, specifically within the book community. This user on TikTok, Red Rum Reads, made a video kind of discussing how she feels about it, and I think she makes a good point.
Y'all are all anti-AI until there's a little stupid trend that y'all can't help but contribute to. And then all of that stuff you were spouting about how generative AI is dangerous and harmful, which it is, all of that gets thrown out the window because you want to look hot in front of Ghostface. The hypocrisy is crazy.
No argument there. I mean, I think this is a kind of a very human behavior, unfortunately, where people might be vocally against something, but they are totally willing to utilize it if it would benefit them. Quill and Queer posted an example of this where a bookstagrammer posted using the trend with an interesting chain of reasoning. Quill and Queer captioned the image, "My dog is sick, so I had to make Ghostface AI generated shit. Get me off this timeline." Yeah. In the caption, this bookstagrammer said, "No, please don't kill me, Mr. Ghostface. I want to be in the sequel." Okay. Hot take. 1, I don't usually F with AI at all, but this to me was a stupid fun trend. And that's the problem. All of it is a stupid fun trend until it hurts people, you know, just like gender reveal parties with explosions. Oh, it's just fun in games until some new dad gets himself blown up trying to be cool for the neighbors. Oh, it's just a fun, stupid trend until people fall off cliffs trying to get cool photographs for Instagram. It's just a stupid, fun trend until people are hospitalized because they choke nearly to death on spoonfuls of cinnamon. This might sound like a mean opinion, but I just think it's people not critically thinking before engaging with things. And I am obviously well aware that using generative AI really doesn't pose an immediate physical threat to anybody, unlike standing on the edge of a cliff potentially, or choking down a very dry seasoning. Those are very extreme examples of what a silly, stupid trend can do. And I just feel like once you are educated on why that trend is potentially dangerous or harmful to people, that should really be enough. Something I think that is very similar in the effect it has on other people would be slurs. There are plenty of slurs that used to be widely used that no longer are widely used because people spoke up about how using those words harmed others. So, yeah, you saying a word that's offensive doesn't physically harm you, but just because something doesn't cause you direct physical harm doesn't mean any negative repercussions should just be ignored. So the bookstagrammer continued too. Before anyone comes for me for saying this is just a stupid fun trend, let me elaborate. I'm in a constant state of anxiety between Pongo being sick, nearing the end of my schooling to become an RT and needing to go part-time, and what is happening in this country, let alone the world. So doing a fun AI trend involving my favorite horror movie that got me into loving horror seemed reasonable. There are other ways for you to still do the trend. Are they quite as easy? No. And I get it. I get it. Life is really hard. And then they finish off with point 3. There's 100 more things to get upset over than people having fun, which I think just kind of sums up a lot about why people do stuff like this. To kind of prove my point, I have taken my non-existent Photoshop skills and edited a photo of my shadowy hallway just for you guys. I took the first full body picture of Ghostface that came up on Google. If you choose one that isn't quite so aqua tinted, this would be way easier, but you just pop them in, get rid of the background with automatic select and some judicious eraser use, duplicate that layer, use a Gaussian blur for a shadow, darken it up, add some shading and a clipping mask, alter the color balance and saturation so it matches the lighting that you had in your room, and voila. Admittedly, is it as atmospheric as the AI versions seem to be? No. But it was free to do in 10 minutes using Procreate and no generative AI. XOXO Love Ivory also made a post on Threads saying, it's funnier seeing this post when the poster has that stupid AI ghost thing in her profile pic. This is a reminder that authors are allowed to pick and choose who remain on their street team. And a lot of authors don't want to associate themselves with people who clearly don't care about stealing from real artists. Y'all can just stay mad. And she attached screenshots from someone on social media, along with another comment saying, this is an update. She deleted the original post. Thank God I took screenshots, LOL. And the screenshots are that user with the ghost face image as their profile picture. For the authors that kick people off street teams for doing a trend, you're just as disgusting as the bullies and should be on a blacklist for discriminatory behavior. And kind of makes me laugh. A street team for an author are fans, presumably, who are kind of working with the author to promote their books. So maybe they'll get early access to the book in order to start making social media posts about it and recommend it online, versus an ARC reader who just reads the book and leaves a review. They are not obligated really to make posts. It's more to get traction on the review sites where the books are frequently being sold. Unless something has changed, I have always operated under the assumption that street teams were voluntary in this context. So yeah, it might suck that your favorite artist who you were on their street team now doesn't want you on it, but that's their prerogative. You're not hired by them. You're not under a contract, and I'm sure if the author kicks them off for this, the author has probably also been vocally anti-AI. Why would they want someone who goes against their belief system to promote their books? Overall, since it is just a trend, I'm sure it will disappear really quickly. And arguably, it is less bad than some other uses of GenAI in that isn't something that they are doing as to profit by scamming people, as with AI book covers or even AI edited books, AI written books, etc. It is ultimately just a picture they wanted to make for themselves. So it's like, it's still bad, but is it as bad? No. If you go scrolling through the booker side of TikTok, you're going to find plenty more examples of bookish content creators who have engaged in this trend, unfortunately. But as it is a trend, and especially a seasonal one, it'll probably drop off the radar soon enough. Meanwhile, however, some other readers are doing essentially the same thing, but not just for themselves, and also doing this explicitly behind the back of the author, who is extremely anti-AI. You've probably heard of Ruby Dixon before. She's the author of Ice Planet Barbarians, a very popular monster romance series where a spaceship of space trafficked women crashes onto a ice planet filled with these barbarian aliens. And of course, they all fall in love. Many other YouTubers have like summarized the books. Read Rant Review, for example, just did one while she was in Alaska. So if you're interested in the books, you can go check out those videos to find out the plot. But Ruby Dixon's own fans have decided to step up to the plate and just kind of stab her in the back. So this user on TikTok, Literary Liberation, made some videos explaining the situation. Since it is a Facebook group, I'm not able to get into the group and investigate for myself, but she does provide some evidence. So let's go over it.
If you don't know, Ruby Dixon posted yesterday that she does not support AI generated images and stuff about her franchise, like the whole Rubyverse, all of that shit. She does not want AI generated anything. And she made a really good post about it. I'm very proud of her for saying that. That being said, the Ice Planet Barbarian Facebook group, which is a very big group, is it in shambles? I don't know, but there's a lot of infighting that I didn't think would happen on there over the artwork, and the rules are being modified. And it's crazy. It's to the point where like the main page, like the main Ice Planet Barbarians, like fandom, they're like, no new AI art. Old art's okay, which is like, it's weird. They're like, we're actually gonna make a second page for AI art. And then there's people in the group, they're like, what the fuck do you mean? What do you mean you're making a second page for just AI art? Like, she said no AI art. And I can't be the only one that's locked in, like, in seeing all this happen, like, real time, right?
That's terrible. So Ruby Dixon herself has made an Instagram post saying, Ruby Dixon fan groups that do not support AI. Want to join a group to discuss my books? There's a Facebook group called Ruby Dixon Blue Barbarian Babes, and then an Instagram/Discord group, Unofficial Ruby Dixon Book Club. And she says, both of these groups are enthusiastic, respectful of copyright, and just honestly wonderful people. Thank you. And she captioned this post, because my stance on AI does not jive with some of the fan groups out there, allow me to point you to two that I support highly. Thank you again. So her stance is really clear from this. We can also see her original post that was in the TikTok, where Ruby Dixon says, I do not support AI. For some time, I've been aware that there are accounts feeding Ice Planet Barbarian art into AI and generating cute videos of the characters. I assume they do this because they love the story so much, but this is harming the community. There are a lot of IPB fan artists out there. I love their art. I love seeing their art. I love knowing that my work inspired them to create art. This is awesome. Some of these artists are no longer drawing IPB art because it is being snatched up and fed into AI. They feel their rights have been violated, and they are correct. Any art being utilized should have the artist's permission first. Exactly. You know, it's one thing to feed your own art into AI, but stealing it from fellow fans who have worked hard to create it just so you can get some more kicks and giggles out of it is just behavior really lacking an ethical compass. Ruby Dixon continues, this situation is only going to get worse as time goes on. If you like someone's art, don't feed it into the machine. Commission the artist. Ask permission to use things. Stealing work is only going to exacerbate this problem. If it's stolen, the artist will no longer create. If they no longer create, the pool grows stagnant. No one posts anymore. That art you loved, gone. As a person that pays people to work with me, I will not be able to commission art because who will draw my characters if it's just going to be stolen and fed into a machine that will create 10,000 copies of it? Everyone loses. Please support real artists. If you see me post art on my account, it's because I've commissioned the artist. I have paid them to use it. I appreciate them letting me utilize the art to share with my audience. This is me spending cash to share something I bought with the class. This does not mean it is free use for everyone. The artist is always credited and paid. Do not steal their art. Do not feed it into AI. Thank you for understanding. Honestly, I think she's being super polite about this. And she captioned the post, Attention class, because apparently it needs to be said. Please do not steal from the artists I work with. Do not feed their work into AI. This goes against everything I stand for. Please support your local artist. Commission them. Do not steal from them. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. And so she did post this right at the end of September. If we zoom in on Literary Liberation's TikTok, we can see the post from the Facebook group that is from the admin team addressing this whole situation. Group update, AI fan art rule. Hi everyone. As your admins, we want this to stay a fun and safe place to celebrate and share our love for the Rubyverse. After much discussion, we've decided that going forward, this group will be AI free. What this means: no new AI generated fan art will be allowed in this group. All past posts with AI fan art will remain up. Please respect this rule and keep the space positive. Important: do not report or leave negative comments on AI posts. Doing so may result in a suspension or ban from posting or commenting. For those who enjoy AI content, we have a backup group, All Things Ice Planet Barbarians Group 2. It's less active, but AI posts are welcome there. If AI isn't for you, you don't need to join that group. If at any point we lose access to this main group, we'll adjust and update everyone. Thank you for helping us keep this community welcoming and enjoyable for all. You clearly aren't making it welcoming and enjoyable for the person who actually created this IP. First of all, not that Ruby Dixon should be joining fan groups or anything, but she has been so explicitly clear that she does not agree with this behavior. It's kind of like they're saying, we're not going to throw parties inside the house anymore. But if you go through the laundry room, we're having one in the garage. That's the same thing. The party's still in the house. Just because it's in a different room doesn't mean anything. How disrespectful. How disrespectful. So Literary Liberation did come back with a second video where there is another post from the admins. The admin's new post says, "Attention all members. I think the group needs to reread the rules. If this group no longer satisfies your needs, that's fine. You're welcome to leave. We will not tolerate abusive behavior towards admins. If you are not adult enough to realize this is a group of many people with different opinions, then this isn't a place for you. We understand that AI is a hot topic, and admins are split when it comes to show how we feel about it. One thing we do agree on is that it isn't going anywhere. I created this group for people who love Ruby's IPB world, a place for mature adults to come together with shared enjoyment. I don't support AI. I'm an artist by profession. But I also recognize that people who are not artists or make a living from that craft see it as a fun way to see their vision of book characters come to life. Not everyone can afford to have artwork made or even buy it right now. Before the AI crisis, it was Pinterest and the sharing of art without credit. There will always be something." That was still art theft, and people would comment, "Hey, this belongs to so-and-so," or they would go to the artist, and then the artist would have to message these people, "Hey, put credit on my work," or "Stop reposting it." What do you mean? So if someone wants to see a scene or a character using AI, that's their choice and right. Art and artists aren't going anywhere, just like the stealing of art and images all over the internet. Art, as always, will keep existing. I'll keep creating regardless, I think is what that sentence says, just like all the other artists out there. And for those that keep saying, how could we allow this knowing Ruby's stance? Well, I know almost everyone knows of a few authors they don't share their same opinions with, and you still enjoy their work. I don't think this is a difference of opinion. A difference of opinion is, I like pineapple on my pizza, and someone else saying, gross, I don't like pineapple on my pizza. A difference of opinion is not, hey guys, stop stealing my IP. Oh, well, I think theft is okay, so that's just a difference of opinion. It's not a difference of opinion. The post continues, "This group, as I originally intentioned, will not have AI photos. If any have slipped past me, then I apologize. But the second group will be managed by the other admins and will allow AI. If this bothers you, then don't join the second group." And then this sentence is obscured. I think it's saying that for those that still won't follow the rules of this group, then please leave, because we will not allow abusive behavior towards administrators and members. Toxicity will not be tolerated and will only cause me to pause this group. So grow the F up. Let's have a space that's kind and welcoming. It's all about IPP. Let's get back to enjoying that. Admin heart face emoji. Okay. Let's get into the video.
There is more Ice Planet Barbarians drama, and it just keeps getting more funny. This was posted 2 hours ago by one of the admins telling people that they will not be tolerating abusive behaviors towards admins. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know what's happening, but in the chats and the comments I was reading, I didn't see anything bad. I'm gonna be real. Not saying it doesn't exist. I'm just saying I didn't see anything, and I've been pretty, like, finger on the pulse, you know what I mean? But then towards the end of this post, it gets really weird, because she went on to say, "And for those that keep saying, how could we allow this knowing Ruby's stance? Well, I know almost everyone knows of a few authors they don't share their same opinions with, and still you enjoy their work. And in my humble opinion, I think this is a cop-out, because Ruby Dixon didn't just share an opinion. She wasn't just saying, oh, I like pineapple on pizza or not. Like, this was a principled stance.
That is so funny. I only watched the beginning of this and then downloaded it to do for this video. I had no idea that she also used the pineapple on pizza example. That's hilarious.
That is very well articulated and nuanced and kind of explains her ethical framework surrounding AI and why she doesn't want it used. I just really wish these admins and anyone that thinks like them would just like take a step back and try to like educate themselves on AI, like reading AI Snake Oil or Feeding the Machine, if I were to recommend 2 books that I wish people would read. But anytime anyone is bringing up these points on like what AI is and how it works and how exploitative it is, they kind of just shut their ears and just like, well, you can leave. Hopefully this is the last time I have to talk about it. I hate Facebook. The only time I use it is to see like Ruby Dixon's page or Matt Dinniman, because that's like the only place they post like regularly and I can like keep up with them. Otherwise I would delete that shit, because God, it's so bad.
So her videos sum up the situation really well as an active member of that group, seeing what's going on. I just can't imagine. I guess this is a symptom of, you know, how people say separate the art from the artist. Like, they've separated so much, they literally don't care about the artist's opinions about the work. It would be one thing if it were an opinion about A, something not harmful to people, B, having nothing to do with the book. You know, if Ruby Dixon was posting, oh, I hate the beach, I'm a mountain girl, like, ignoring that opinion, yeah, that's totally valid. But ignoring her opinion about her own works is wild. So those are just 2 examples of readers somehow feeling entitled to do whatever they want. While obviously the Ghostface trend isn't tied to a specific author, you know, at least the authors that I follow have all been pretty explicit about their anti-GenAI stance. So it's just funny that people who want to engage with their work and the community are just ignoring that. The Ruby Dixon situation, I think, is so wild. To have an author directly come out and tell you, hey, your behavior is bad and here's why, and to have them give a legitimate argument would be absolutely mortifying. It just goes to show you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. I don't know if Ruby Dixon would have any like other sort of recourse to try and shut this behavior down. I can't imagine that A, she would want to, or B, even have a chance of winning legal action of some sort or reporting to Facebook. But given everything Meta stands for, that sounds like a pipe dream. I would be so heartbroken if I were a best-selling author and I had to tell my fans, hey, stop stealing stuff, and to then have most of them just completely blow me off. I can't imagine. Have you noticed other behavior like this in the bookish community, and what do you think about it? Let me know in the comments down below. Well, that's all for now. I will see you next time.